Alright, so guys, it took a second longer than expected. So to brush my teeth while I was at it. Minty fresh. But okay, let's figure out who's coming out for these final guys, these final games. I love the reactions of the team, by the way. How did you win, Panda? WTF? You know you got good teammates when. But okay, again, it's the North American team, Chairs for Gaming. The European team, Yord. We're going to find out who ends up with the final match here in a moment. We'll also find out what server we play on. The only thing we know right now is that it's going to be on Galactic Process. I just got to confirm, though, before I announce who's playing, because I don't want to... Once again, I don't want to give away information. Alright, it's going to be PiLiPiLi for Team Chairs for Gaming, and it's going to be Beastyqt for Team Yord. We once again have to do a coin flip to determine what server we're going to play on, though. So, uno momento, guys. Who's in the channel? Beastie. Beastie can call the coin flip. Beastie, call coin flip, please. Where are my coins? I don't actually know where. Here we go. I have dropped at least like $1 worth of quarters on the floor at this point. I am not gracious, is what I'll say. But get this going in a moment. Excuse me. Some people are saying, why is the information on Team Liquid a little bit different? If you read the post that I've linked in the Reddit thread, it's because we changed it for the semifinals. We changed the format up. Okay, BC's not here, but PiLi called Tails, so let's get into it. Let's catch it. And will the final game be on Europe or North America, ladies and gentlemen? It is heads. That's the head of the Queen of England. So this means we're going to be playing on Europe because PiLi called Tails. Not good for Chairs for Gaming. Europe. Heads. Okay, so let me go make Galactic Process. In the meantime, we have no updates from Major, sadly, and I'm really hoping we find something soon, because if Major's not back, we have an alternate solution that is not favorable, but perhaps a solution. Panda Rubies, God damn it! How did Tails fail? Tails always works. Yeah, I don't know, man. I flipped the coin. You guys saw it. No shenanigans. I'm too clumsy to have like sleight of hand. Like, it's just not gonna happen. I've tried to do that thing where you roll the quarter on your hand and it just falls. I didn't even mean to do it. I was hoping I was gonna get at least one, but it fell nonetheless. Okay, so PiLiPiLi playing Protoss, Beastyqt playing Terran comes out for the final match to determine who goes through to the grand finals and who will be knocked out of the tournaments. Of course, big shouts to all the BaseTradeTV subscribers and those who have been part of the channel. We will be sharing the replay packs once the tournament is completed with our subscribers. So it's one of the awesome benefits you get for subbing. Plus, you know that the money's going to good places, as witnessed by that best of one earlier. Actually, it's a fun note. BC walks away today with $15, regardless of whether his team gets knocked out or not, because he did play that best of one. Again, thank you to Minty Fizz for that donation earlier. Made that possible. But of course, if anyone else wants to consider a subscriber donating, don't let me stop you. I mean, it would be very cool. So, whatever. Anyways, PiLi says he's ready. Beastie, are you good to go? Fine. Whoops, Beastie. Sorry, bro. Alright. The European server, Galactic Process being the map. This determines the fate of both of these teams. Now, I would like to point out as well, for those tuning in live with us, today was supposed to be the day of the finals. Due to the Kespa Cup, we had to push that off and move things around, and presently, I don't know when we're going to do the finals. I'll have to confirm with the teams afterwards. I don't need to do that at all. One sec. In fact, I'm checking our schedule as we speak. Tomorrow we have some really cool show matches put on by one of our subscribers, actually, Triss. She's one of our mods, too, on the channel, if you guys have never seen her around. She set up 2 show matches, Kelzer versus Cham, TVZ, and Lily Kadeen versus TLO, another TVZ that follows afterwards. So maybe we can have the finals after those 2 play out, or maybe we can push it to the following weekend. I'm not sure. Either way, we'll try and talk to the players and figure out what works, because with 6 people to consider, we have to make sure all of them are available to play. But alright, welcome back to game number 5. It's the ace match between the 2 teams. The score is currently tied up 2-2, and this will determine everything. Spawning in the bottom left side, defending the team, the temporary team of Yordwood Watches, it's Beastyqt. And in the top right, it's going to be the red Protoss, PiLiPiLi. And of course, with said sponsors, just taking another moment to sell out. Guys, if you want to check out Chairs for Gaming, if you live in Canada or the United States, if you enjoy the players playing, send them a tweet. But use promo code BaseTradeTV to get $20 off any purchase of a chair and free shipping. Even better. Yord, of course, has really cool gifts to these wood watches. They're fancy, they're nice. In fact, I might even go break mine out of my dressing thing and show it off to you guys between games. But woodwatches.com/base. 5% off right now is the standard deal, but hopefully we can get a bit of a better deal as holiday seasons start approaching. We've found that wood watches tend to sell best when holidays are around. But the really cool thing, if you do not want to buy a watch, I would still recommend checking out woodwatches.com/base, because they've got a really cool bar. I've asked them, as part of our deal with them, to show some transparency, and every watch sold, a percentage of the sale will go towards a prize pool with Yord, and that's what we're raising on that giant bar. I would... get it? Would really like to make another tournament happen with them. The Civil War event we ran with them was actually a ton of fun. And we are currently at 7 watches sold with $166 towards the next BaseTradeTV tournament. It doesn't actually have to hit that 1,000. We may end up, quote-unquote, cashing out, say, 500 or something. But either way, really excited to do more work with Yord in the future. But enough of that and more on the game. Beastie coming across the map with a scout for that Reaper. Nobody going for cheese either while this goes on. No weird proxies and no 3rd or 5th barracks. But his first barracks was put in a bit of an off position, so I was curious about that. And as he follows this up with a reactor, in the position he's doing it, it looks like it's going to be straight up for Hellions. Now, talking on the point of Hellions for just a moment, what I find really interesting and intriguing about this is we've been seeing more and more players go for Hellions. At first it was like, okay, you get like a Hellion and it goes to the mineral lines and it moves around. You get a couple Hellions, okay, they want to get kills. Major and I think a couple others were showing us 3 Hellions to 4 Hellions, and those will run through to the main and cause a lot of chaos. If Beastie straight up goes mech, by the way, that's going to blow my mind. I don't think that's the direction we're going, and in fact, looks like it won't be for Hellions. As excited as I got, it's going to be the Widowmine drop, so standard Terran. However, he did go for a bunker block on the other side of the map, and looks like this Reaper just got its first probe kill. Nice! Oh, no, wait. Is the Marines killing the... Wait, what was First Blood? Oh, an SCV died summer scouting, I guess. Okay, never mind. Got really confused by that. As the bunker block was interesting, this is something you can stick the Marines, or hell, the Reaper into, get some damage with it, but also salvage it, so it's just as good as canceling an engineering bay in that regard. Adept's going to die if it transfers through. The Widowmine was very nicely positioned on that ramp, and PiLi going to take no risks for it. I should say, by the way, I do favor PiLi actually thinking on this more. I know I just finished talking this big thing about server and preference and lag and all this, but PiLi has actually gone to Korea, competed in the Alima League, knocked out players better than most, and specifically Terrans at that. I know we went over the list on stream the other day. I think it was like Keen, Gumiho, and Ryung or something, but really good Terran players that would be, no disrespect to Beastie, better than Beastie. So maybe the cross-server lag won't be too much of an issue for him. If he can play to Korea, maybe he plays to Europe. Regardless, 2 Widowmines going to be heading towards the main. No detection up here, and the Disruptor drop style might not be the best choice. This isn't going to be as bad as Dawson Station when we saw Puck do this earlier. But the Widowmines will not get the burrow. Nice shutdown, but double overcharge this pop means these Marines got nothing to stop them but Stalkers and Adepts. And it looks like without the medevac support, which he's desperately trying to reach the Marines for, it's not going to go well for him. So he picks up 2 of them to save them. Medevac takes some pepper and has to back away. Third CC coming down at the natural instead of on location. A little bit curious about this. Maybe he won't actually be taking the base over here. Some players have really been taking this third more often. I can't say there's like a concrete best reason for it, but it has been happening. Bunker is just going to get salvaged, so he bought some time with it. It's a little annoying. Disruptor also on the way. Warp Prism speed going to finish up soon, and that's going to make this really tough to catch. But the nice thing is with the Viking, it guarantees that the Warp Prism can't just hang around and meander around the bases. Not for free and not for too long, at least. Pushes this back pretty easily. Tank got some nice hits off too. Not a lot required, but good attention and preparation make sure that that doesn't do too much damage. The Liberator, by the way, could even chase down the Warp Prism for a mild amount of time, but again with speed should get away pretty easily. The follow-up for the fast Colossus is a little bit odd though. This is something that he could once again continue to do with drops. Like if he doesn't want to have to worry about the Disruptor drop, then he goes with the Colossus drop. He could just be straight up building Colossus. God knows we've seen Drogo through the Kespa Cup qualifiers forget Thermal Lance enough times that I hope PiLiPiLi doesn't here as well, or that just sets a bad trend for Protoss players across all regions. But if it is dedicated, there we go, dedicated more Colossus, yeah, the extended Thermal Lance comes up pretty quick. It looks like we'll have some more. I do worry, though, because he's not pairing this up with upgrades, and I would argue that having perhaps +1 to benefit all of your ground units plus the Colossus would benefit more than extended Thermal Lance, but either way, we'll see when that comes into play. Because if that +1 weapons is delayed for too long, I do get worried. But nope, there we go, kicking it off. Now, big talk on what PiLiPiLi's been doing, but the question is, how does Beasty deal with this? He has not actually seen Colossus. He did see the Disruptor, and I'm sure in his mind he's thinking Colossus are the likely follow-up. So, donation! Thank you! A big donation. I'll go over that in a second. But thank you very much. A second starport comes down. The Fusion Core as well. This is likely just going to be for Liberator range, even though every single time I want to like hype up battle cruisers. They're just not in the cards, guys. They're not in the meta just yet. But that was a donation from Mr. Flotcher. 6969696969 $420. $5. He says, to the bunch of people in chat who regularly use Liquipedia, go to the page. It's up, but for the temporary team league, it's up, but I've left it pretty bare bones. So if you're well acquainted with both the event and Liquipedia, please go and contribute. Also, Acelude, Zestu, please let me lease you, Acelude. What? Why would you lease Zest, man? Now, the Flotch is into some weird stuff, just generally speaking, guys, from past donations, so I don't know. A-Move just subbed to the channel, though. New sub hype. I know it's 3 minutes ago, but guys, do me a favor. Give him some Tasha claps or some hearts, depending on what you got available. Big love and thank you to A-Move for that sub. Although, was that just a sub that fell off, or are you just always in chat? That name's too familiar. I hate this. We've had this happen a couple times where people are subbing, and what happens is their sub just broke, or they're always in chat all the time. Either way, I see their name, so I'm like, that's familiar. Thank you, nonetheless. Now, there's a good chunk of Marauders that could possibly deal with the Colossus. With only one Disruptor from PiLiPiLi, though, there is a miracle shot that could potentially happen. If he hits the bio with this, Beasty will have nothing to deal with what's on the ground, the gateway units out of PiLiPiLi. But as it stands, the amount of Marauders that are currently in play are more than enough to take on the Colossus as well as the Stalkers, given the correct engagement, I guess, angle, you could say it. Getting some turrets down too, gonna try and buy some time. What am I looking for? Hits. Disruptor doesn't get the best hit, but it does take a good chunk of the Marauders. Beasty's supply still holds strong, and while there might not be Liberators in the front lines, they're now arriving. Being pushed off by the Stalkers, though. Colossus shooting the tank on the high ground. Marauders trying to weed out the rest of the gateway units so you can at some point get on top of these Colossus. Widowmines gets some great hits on top of the Adepts. Pulling the boys from the third, gets on top of the army. And Beasty is just pulling out all the stops to push this army back. He wants to kill the Colossus. He doesn't want to trade. He wants to make this worth losing 24 SCVs. Widowmine's still alive. I guess detection was a bit of a problem there for PiLiPiLi. Doesn't want to push his luck too much. But he did get some very important pickoffs. Killing the Liberators, but also taking out some of the tanks. Flotch in chat says, just only 5 buckaroos, and I don't know if it'll workaroo. Don't worry, it did. That's stream delay, though, right? I hate having a stream delay. Having built our channel on stream delay is impressive to me, but it won't be impressive to anyone else. It just hurts. It hurts. But big love, man. Widowmine's coming off cooldown soon. Looks like that Liberator did get a shot or two. This is where that Liberator range actually probably helps the most. I want to point out that while strategy and composition and all these things out of PiLiPiLi are scary and good, chokes are the name of the game on Galactic Process. And Beasty, with Liberators having range, a couple of Widow Mines here and there, hopefully and ideally will be able to take advantage of these chokes to his I guess, advantage. I said advantage twice awkwardly. Deal with it. I think that, though, PiLiPiLi is good enough for this matchup. I don't think the chokes will throw him off too badly. He's not taking a lot of bad fights, but the Widow Mine gets killed once again. Or the Widow Mine kills the Observer once again, excuse me, and there's one more Observer coming to the front lines, but this is the last bit of detection. And these Widow Mines, not the damage they deal, but the threat that they present, have been the biggest reason PiLiPiLi hasn't been able to push up the ramp. Well, the engineering bay is in an awkward spot, so the +2 weapons get shut down pretty hard. That's not good. Stalkers blink in, but it's a bit dangerous. He had no idea if there was going to be Widow Mines protecting that or not. Took a bit of a risk, picks off one of the Liberators, and backs away. Shots getting fired, though, and the Stalkers do get picked off. Once again, scans go down to see if there's Observers. PiLiPiLi kept his Observer alive. This little bit of detection is seriously what's making and breaking these fights on the ramps. Every time he goes in with the ability to see things, not a problem. Takes a decent fight. Every time he loses the Observer, he has to just back away and wait for new ones to build. Force shields go down there to split the bio. Colossus in play once again, and the SCV is being pulled. Try to distract the shots, but it's not going to work. On the other side of the map, though, it looks like some Widow Mines made it in. We were so focused on Beasty's side, he managed to get 2 Widow Mines, and there's no detection for PiLiPiLi. So finally, a little bit of back damage. That cannon's going to kill the Widow Mine, but I think I'll get one more shot before it does. Not too shabby. The Observer over here also cleans that up. So Beasty takes some losses, but gives PiLiPiLi a bit of a taste of his own medicine. 46 probes left after 19 went down to 2 Widow Mines. Yikes. As the Colossus looks to creep up the ramp once again, the problem is it's only one Observer. If it goes down to splash damage, if it goes down to a scan and some focus fire, no way that PiLiPiLi can fight. In fact, actually, the Observer's on the other side of the map. This was the new one, mate. I guess BC had sniped off the other one while we were watching the Widow Mine chaos that went down. So, oh man, that's why PiLiPiLi can't push. But the problem presented for BC, he can't take a 4th in this situation. Unless he breaks down these rocks and takes the command center over here, he's eventually going to bleed out to attrition and just die out to a lack of minerals. But I will say, the time he's been granted, he has been using well, and he's been bulking up a really nice army. The concern, though, is these medevacs are pretty low on energy, and these stims have really been the biggest culprit for that. Not that many actual fights have been dedicated to, but BC's had to stim in preparation of each and every one. And with the amount of Liberators necessary, not even wanted, but necessary to take fights, he can't afford to replace those medevacs anytime soon. Now, at some point, he's going to be on 10 Liberators. And when those 10 Liberators are out, he can start leapfrogging forward and eventually start pushing out, maybe even into PiLiPiLi's army. Once again, two Observers now. One at home, one on the front lines. So detection, not going to be such a problem. I guess if the attack worked once, BC contemplates that it can work again. But this time, it's not sneaky Widow Mines. It's a rather powerful force of 2 medevacs going around the outer skirts of the map. And he's just hoping at this point, he's begging that PiLiPiLi doesn't have an Observer on the way to catch this. Scan's going down to keep an eye on PiLiPiLi's army. I guess Mule's less important because he doesn't want to mine out too quickly. The armies does unload on this side. As a good chunk of Marauders paired with these Marines, I think he might even be able to get the base snipe, but he's likely going to be looking to go to the probe line and pick off the workers more than the actual base. And that's going to be exactly the case. Probes get chased out of this, but 11 go down immediately. PiLiPiLi now contemplating, that's a lot of army outside of the main. Maybe I can take a fight over on this side of the map. But Stalkers eat a Widow Mine hit. Liberators have so many liberation zones going down to pick off said Stalkers. Oh, the hallucinations are such a cool trick, but if he scans, the units won't shoot them. So it's not for naught, and actually, Beasty's gonna win the fight, and likely the game to follow this up. He kills the 4th on the other side of the map. He's still got Liberators going strong. Stalkers go down to the Marauders, and these Colossus are no more. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe, despite the sickest attempt at an engagement, Beasty just took the series and won it for Team Yord! He's also going to now secure that team's spot in the finals. He'll fight against the winner of Team Corsair and Team Ting. Oops, not 2-5, 2-3. What am I saying? Yikes. No, excuse me. excuse me, that's actually not correct. He'll fight against the losers of Team Corsair and Team Ting. It's a double elimination bracket, so we still have to find out what's going on with the other series because we don't know what's happened to Major. But, that being said, Chairs for Gaming is officially out and 3 teams remain. Yord, Ting, and Corsair. Congratulations to Beastyqt. Won $15 today for the best of 1, and just won that for this team. I do want to go back, though. If I could, I'm going to try and clip this. That was such a really, really cool idea out of PiLiPiLi. The mass hallucinated stalkers. For those who don't know the interaction and why I tried to explain in a very bad engagement was, if there's hallucinations on the map, they'll get auto attacked just like any other unit will. But if you scan for the hallucination, the AI in the game says don't bother shooting those things. So that was a really good move out of BC to scan. It was a really sick move out of PiLiPiLi. There were seriously 20 hallucinated stalkers. That would have soaked up a lot of Liberator hits. Would that have made or broken the game? I'd love to know. Recover game, do that same engagement again, but have no scans. I'd love to see how that plays out. But that was good. That was a good finale, guys. That was a good final game. I would like to thank you all once again for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Rest in peace, Team North America, though. And we'll see you guys in a couple minutes while I try and figure out what the state of Major is. I'll explain what our solution is as well to that situation when I come back, but I'll play some music because this will probably be a little bit of a longer break screen. Not too long. We'll be back in a bit.